Alright, what's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the TMossBoss Show. And in today's episode, I'm going to be talking about people that refuse to change and I'm going to mainly be using the internet as an example, like dramas and beefs that I got into because yeah, there are some people in this world, but I mean, you can even look at it from a point of view of if it's somebody that IRL, like if it's a friend or family, I don't know. But I will be using the internet as the main example and stuff. But yeah, man, throughout my years of being a content creator, I have seen where there's just people that refuse to change. There's people that refuse to change their habits, or they do get into the bad habits. And then next thing you know, it's like you look up and see, and it's like, dang, man, what happened to them? It's like, oh, okay, like at first, you don't really think that much of it. But then as the time goes on, like I will say, one person that I can think of where I'm like, man, his bad habits is getting to him. And I'm like, I want to work on some content. I'm like, hopefully it reaches out to him. But Adrian Broner, for those that don't know who he is, he's a former boxer. And yeah, he's somebody I remember I was following heavily some years ago. I think, was he boxing when I was in school? I think he had to have been boxing when I was in school. I just can't remember if it was when I was in school or when I had graduated from high school. That's when he started making a name for himself. It might have been when I was in high school. But anyways, Adrian Broner was somebody where I was like, I remember when he was coming up, like when he was being talked about, I'm like, oh yeah, that's definitely the next Floyd Mayweather. He might not have a undefeated streak like Floyd Mayweather, but he's definitely next up. Like, no, that's gonna be the guy where I'm like, he's going to maybe not dethrone Floyd Mayweather, but he's definitely gonna take that spot. And when you look at Adrian Broner back then, like during his prime, and then when you look at him now, two different people. And man, it's one of those things where it at first you watch it, like the videos and the content and all that stuff, and you laugh, you cracking jokes, like you're going with the memes and all that, but then it gets to a point where it's like, bruh, this is kind of sad to watch. Like, you're watching somebody throw their life away, and I'm like, man, I feel for that man. I feel bad for him because I'm like, that nobody should go through what he's going through. And somebody was saying that in the comment sections that he should go to therapy. And I'm like, if therapy can help that man out, then yeah, I'm like, sign him up for some therapy. I imagine he's still got the money. Something, I don't know, but yeah, he definitely needs therapy. He definitely needs to get some things off of his chest. I think it has a lot to do with, it was the guy that had trained him. I think he passed away. And I can understand, when you have somebody close to you pass like that can mess with your mental, like extremely bad and stuff. So yeah, that's why I'm like, man, I feel for him. I feel bad for him, and I'm like, I hope one day we can look up and then he can end his career off the right way and stuff, and then afterwards just continue living a healthier lifestyle and stuff. Because yeah, that to me, I'm like, to see such a talented person just put their talent to waste, like, yeah, that's that ain't good, but yeah, man, I'm like, I didn't seen it where it be people that I watch, and then it's people that I'm even I don't know, I ain't gonna like name drop nobody, people that I know, but yeah, it's like, I will, okay, so you know what, I will say this. It's content creators that I ain't got into it with, where it's like you see their behavior and it's like, man, at some point in time, you do have to grow up. Like it was the stalker that I was just talking about not too long ago. I mean, it's a 20-something-year-old man, and it's like he carrying on in a way where it's like, fam, as a teenager, it would make sense on why you're acting the way that you're acting. But as a 20-something-year-old man pushing your 30s, you shouldn't be carrying on like that. Like, it gets to a point where it's like, okay, you got to grow up. But yeah, it's one of those things, where I guess, like, I don't know, him still thinking he's a kid. And then, yeah, I already done said what I need to say about that guy. I really don't want to spend too much time talking about him, but I feel like that's somebody where it's like, yeah, that's a prime example of somebody where they just don't care about life. It's like, as much as you will try to explain it to them, I don't know. It's like their thought process is off. It's not, like how most people, where it's like, okay, you know somebody is trying to help you. You know somebody is trying to give you some life advice. If you ain't willing to take it, then it's like, okay, then what is that person supposed to do? I told that person, I don't want nothing to do with you. So go find you some business. Go do something productive with your life. And no, all he want to do is just sit around, harass me, harass my friends, stalk me and anybody that I'm talking to. And I'm like, man, it gets to a point where it's like, you deserve to get punched in your face. Like, I don't care if he got like some special needs crap going on. You deserve to get punched in your face. I know people will probably be all like, oh, you shouldn't say that. He's a pedophile. So that's why I'm like, yeah, maybe if this would have been a different case, but no, yeah, I'm like, this guy's 100%. He is a pedophile and he supports, pedophiles. So that's why I'm like, yeah, I don't care. I don't care, I guess, what I say about him and stuff. It's one of those things where it's like, if you put yourself in a situation where people are going to talk about you in a negative way, you can't be surprised. You can't feel a certain way about that. But no, yeah, it's like I do hope that, I do hope that one day somebody punches him in his face and knocks some sense into him, because I feel like that with some people, and it's messed up to say that, you do have to get physical with them. You are gonna have to, I guess, like, explain it to them in a way where it's like, okay, this is the only way that you'll understand. I'm gonna have to swing on you. Now, I don't want to swing on you, but you ain't leaving me no other choice. So yeah, it's one of those things. I feel like that he'll hear this and he'll be all like, oh, I'll definitely take TMossBoss on in a fight. And I'm like, yeah, that's, if I'm maybe unconscious, paralyzed, something's wrong with me, then okay. But I'm like, I've seen how you act. I know what kind of person you are. Even like on my like worst out of shape days, it's like with like no fighting experience. Yeah, it's one of those things where I'm like, and I still have a better chance than you. So yeah, so I'm like, I ain't gonna get into, too much details on that, but moving on. So but no, yeah, it's like I didn't see where it's like even other people where it's like then they try to change and then it be too late, where I'm like, nah, you already done wrote the book on who you want to be, so it's like that's what people are going to see from now on. You should have changed when you had the opportunity to change. And one person that I can say that they didn't, change at the time being, and they waited too late, was Minnesota Boy. So for those that I've talked about him a few times, but for those that don't know, yeah, Minnesota Boy, he was this racist YouTuber from back in the day. And he was just doing it because it was a trend at the time. Like, he did this video titled, Dear White People, Why I Hate White People. And that was during the time when that Nicole Arbor YouTuber did that Dear Fat People video. And so, yeah, he was just trying to follow a trend, and it backfired in his face. He ended up losing out on his content creating career. He tried to make a comeback, but I'm like, nah, it's too late. Like, that's how people are going to remember you. They're going to remember you as a racist. They're not going to remember you, oh, because you came back and said this, or you did this before, or you're doing that stuff. And I'm like, no, people are going to remember you as a racist. You had the chance and opportunity to change. The thing is this, when people called him out on his behavior, instead of being like, oh yeah, I was just doing this as a social experiment, I didn't realize that I was going to offend so many people. Fam, he doubled down on the racism. There was fans of his coming to my channel telling me about how he was being racist to them. So my thing is this, like, I can get if it's random people, but when it's your fans and they're confused by your behavior, like you just woke up one day and just decided to be racist, like, fam, that you really got to sit down and think about it. Was that the brightest idea? Because I'm saying, like, the thing is this. I done had my moments where I've struggled with content, like I guess trying to get content out, but I still have ideas on standby. Like, that's the thing. I ain't never struggled that much with content to where I had to be like, oh, okay, well, I guess I ain't got no choice but to offend people and stuff. Yeah, no, I'm like, I'm a smart content creator. I play my cards right. If it does come down to it where I can't think of no content creating ideas, then I'm like, okay, then whatever videos I do have, then I'm just going to upload those. And then, yeah, I'm like, hopefully by tomorrow I have something. But I just think that that's what it is when it comes down to me and content creating, is that I'm just like energy deprived. So yeah, I just don't have the energy to record nothing, but I'm like, yeah, I always got something to record, and it ain't got to offend people and stuff. So yeah, that's why I'm like, it just always trips me out though when I do see people and they do stuff like that, where it's like, you have the chance and opportunity to change and you don't. Now look at you. Now it's like, yeah, you off up in a situation where it's like, okay, and then it's like, now it's when the time does come and you do want to change, I'm like, people ain't going to support it. And I'm like, one person that I can't say that for is somebody that I ain't got into it with. they're mainly the people that will be, it's like people that I ain't got into it with before. I can't really, because I don't really be paying attention. Like when it comes down to content creating, I'm gonna say this much: I mind my own business. I don't be trying to like get involved in beefs and dramas. Now if it's big enough, then okay, but if not, then I'm like, hey, look, I'm like, they ain't got nothing to do with me, you know. So, but anyways, but no, a person that I can't think of where I'm like, I feel like one day he is gonna try to change, and it's gonna be too late, is just a robot. I feel like that he's somebody where the times is gonna get rough for him. He's going to find himself alone, afraid, ain't nobody gonna be supporting him, ain't nobody gonna be rocking with the content. He's gonna try to be all like, oh, I'm gonna change, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna stop doing the drama videos. I'm like, you said that before and you came back and started doing the drama videos. So that's why I'm like, fam, do you want to change or do you not want to change? Because I'm like, if people see that you don't want to change, then it's like, okay, well, we ain't got no reason to be here, so we gonna find somebody else. Because I'm like, okay, if we ain't gonna get the change from you, then we gonna get the person that we want to see with somebody else. So somebody that actually does want to improve their content. But yeah, you know, you just got people out there where it's like, and I feel like a lot of people, they will ask that question that is like, how can you change? Like, what can I possibly do to change my habits, change my ways? Fam, that's not up for me to decide. I'm like, that's up for you to decide. So, and you know what? The thing is this, I feel like that's how I need to end off this podcast episode. It's talking about myself. So, a couple of months ago, I would say that I was in a dark spot mentally. You know, like I wasn't really doing so hot. And then that was the thing. During that time, I was sent these Nike running shoes, and to test them out, go like, you know, run some miles in there. I think it was like, how many miles? It was a lot of miles. I think it might have been like over 100 miles. It was a lot. But that was the thing. Like, I'm like, I knew I can do it. Like, if I was just given, I'm trying to like look and see if they have like the miles up there and stuff. No, I don't think they did. No, I think those were the first shoes I had. Where was the last ones that I did? Was it these? Yeah, it was these ones. Do they have like the average 10 to 20 miles a week? They don't say how many miles though I was supposed to run, but it was a lot. It was a lot. And no, I didn't do it. I think I got to like 40 miles, and then that was it. And I was like, I wasn't like, fam, physically I was not in the best shape too. Like cuz I hadn't really been exercising and stuff. So yeah, it was very humbling, you know, like seeing myself in that, you know, position and stuff. But no, yeah, I wasn't in the best spot mentally. I wasn't in the best spot physically. Then, you know, then the weeks went by, because it was like 8 weeks that I was supposed to be testing out the shoes. So the weeks went by. I didn't complete the goal. But as soon as I had turned those shoes in, I got to working out. I was like, and I had to say, like, I've mainly worked out this month, then like, I guess like taking days off. Like there'll be some days where we'll take off. Like I'll wait for my body to just kind of like cool down, the soreness of working out. Like, you know, wait till that kind of goes away and then get right back to it and stuff. I've been taking creatine, drinking a lot of water. Went out on a walk the other day, and I'm like, yeah, man, you know, physically I feel good. Mentally, there's still some work that needs to be done, but physically, I feel good. Like, and it's one of those things where I'm like, you know, if you take the time to change, because I'm like, nobody can tell you to change. You know, like, and that's the thing. Like, I can say, like, you need to change, you need to do better. It's up to you to change and do better. Like, I guess, like, I can, you know, start the car for you, but you're gonna have to do the driving. So that's why I'm like, yeah, you know, people, they don't be thinking along those lines. They just want to sit around and not do nothing with their lives. They just were sitting, you know, I guess, misery. And I'm like, nah, the only misery you need to be fooling with is the Stephen King movie Misery. That's the only time when misery needs to be mentioned, if you want to sit down and watch that movie. But, and even then, the funny thing is, it's more of like of a thriller, horror, like, well, not really horror. I mean, I guess it's a scary situation. But what did James Caan do in that movie? All right, yeah, he sat around for a little bit. You know, he had some setbacks, but he got to working out. He took that typewriter, cracked Kathy Bates across the head. Then she put up more of a fight. Then that's when he got that pig statue thing, cracked her across the head again. Shut her whole system down. Dead. Gone. And he got up. How did he get up out of that? Yeah, that's one of them, like, I might have to get the Misery book, because I'm like, did that man crawl out of that house? I'm like, how did that go down? Well, okay, actually, because I'm now sitting down thinking about it. if that old dude, the sheriff, if he told his wife that he was going to Kathy Bates' home and then him not returning because we all know what happened to the old dude, then yeah, then she probably, well, because yeah, because I think they were the only two cops. I think, yeah, she was like the deputy, and then he was the sheriff, and so that's, I'm like, who, yeah, I don't know, maybe she went up there and then she got him, and then, we ain't talking about, I ain't got all off topic and things, I ain't got distracted. You see where my mind be taking me at times, but anyways, but you know what, the thing is this, though. It's good to do stuff like that. It's good to have fun, crack jokes, laugh, talk about random stuff and things. But no, yeah, it's like, but that's one thing where I'm like, people, you got to get up, you got to change, you got to do, and that's the thing. You might think what's best for you is to sit around and continue doing what you've been doing. That's not what's best for you. What's best for you is if you get up, be active, change your habits. Because it's like, that's the thing. All the people that I talked on Minnesota Boy, he realized that he messed up. That's why he was trying to change it was like minutes after the last minute, and then with just the robot, he wanted to change, but he knew that he ain't had nothing else. And that's the thing. If you don't have nothing else, then make something else. Like, you ain't gotta like, oh, okay, well, there ain't nothing out there for me, so let me just go back to my old lifestyle and stuff. Nah, I'm like, to me, that's just pure laziness. I'm like, nah, it's funny how, like, years of calling me lazy and stuff and trying to push out that narrative that I'm lazy. Fam, I elevated my content creating career. I ain't gonna just sit around and continue doing the same stuff. And that's all that I see when it does come down to content creation. I want to elevate. I want to grow. That's why I'm like, the thing is this, when he very first came across my channel, I had two channels. I had my main channel and my gaming channel. I wasn't really all that active like on other. I mean, it was like more so used for personal reasons like Instagram, Twitter, stuff like that. But now, and when you look at his side of things and when you look at my side of things, I've created 48 more YouTube channels. I picked up Twitch streaming. What else? Oh yeah, I forgot about, because I did a TikTok stream too. Hold on for a second. I got to see if I can still download that video, because yeah, I just remember that I did do a TikTok stream. Can I download that? I don't think I might be able to download that stream. Hold on for a second. Let me TikTok live studio. I straight forgot that I did that. And I was like, yeah, I don't know what I was thinking, because I did that stream a while back. Well, it wasn't, I don't think it was that long ago. Why they have it set up where it's like I can't look at, this? I'll look into that afterwards, because I'm like, yeah, I don't know what I'm looking at. They got all these other different things. I'm like, yeah, they definitely done changed up some stuff, because I'm like, yeah, this wasn't what I had seen before. So, but anyways, but yeah, overall though, I'm like, just end off this podcast episode, people, ain't nothing wrong with changing. It's like, you want to sit around and still continue doing the same old. At some point in time, life is going to hit you hard. And then that's when you're going to be all like, well, dang, I should have changed a long time ago. I should have did this. I should have did that. Now it's too late. You still have the chance and opportunity to change. Just don't wait until the last minute. So, but anyways, with that being said, talk to y'all later. Thank you guys for watching and or listening. Stay tuned for the next episode. Like, subscribe, viewing this on YouTube. Follow or subscribe, viewing this on the podcast streaming service. And peace.